We have details of these and more stories coming away in the next 20 minutes. The news is live on DSTV, channel 279, also streaming on Facebook at TV3 Ghana. Welcome to the program. Some residents of the Ododo constituency have expressed outrage at the wanting disappointing and mismanagement by managers of the economy at a time deemed depressing in the country's history, registering their unflinching support and readiness for the October 3 demonstration. Some are willing to spend their Monday night at the Obra spot before Tuesday's demonstration.
Demonstration, we know. Mubeko.
Yabeko papa. Mimi nyakura mi kwa do Obra spot Monday. If you say mi uchishimi, mi kuni ni ejuma papa biaye. Yenti bibia si wo man mu. Nana do catcher say it is a council of comedy. So cry it is a council of comedy. Ukraina will be my comedy at Tobia.
And your brother and again. What big job here? Now, may a bishop, I may ask my bishop to Nico school machine. What they will me. And your banner, you are going to be school and by Bishop. What let the way you are we.
The only reason why Ghanaians are so angry, particularly the youth, is because there's no accountability in the system. And you can't run a country like that. You see, I've said that to the ordinary Ghanaian youth who is angry, you have every right to be angry. What is happening in the country is despicable. You can't be angry. But my message again is that please don't lose hope. Because obviously, there are people out there that cares. And we care, and the NDC care. And obviously what is happening so far is something that we don't have to. But we're not basing people, we are getting people to come to the place. And that's why we're doing community engagement. We have to do community engagement to sensitize the ordinary Ghanaian about the ills of the central bank. Certainly people will actually go to the demonstration. And that's what we are doing. So we are asking them to join us on the 3rd of October. And to ordinary person out there, it doesn't matter where you are. Join us on the 3rd of October for us to express our revulsion against the central bank and the ills.
Independent presidential aspirant Kyerematen says he has taken strong exception to the NPP's pushing towards his resignation from the party. The party at a news conference on Tuesday described his decision as disappointing at a time when they were engaging him on his concerns.
Kyerematen expressed reservations about the NPP's response to his decision to leave and denied any courtesies owed to the party.
I have a strong reservation with the description that I left the party clandestinely. To put a negative slur on the fact that I did not inform the party, it's a bit strange for me. Why do we have to have a public discussion on who I talked to about exiting from the party?
Okay.
Is that a subject matter that we should have a discussion on?
He explained the pillars of his vision for Ghana.
My movement, the movement for change, is seeking to establish a government of national unity.
Okay.
Where people from all walks of life, regardless of their political affiliation, ethnic and religious affiliation, where all the sections of society can participate in our governance structure. Now, a government of national unity then allows us to focus as a country on one common national agenda. You know, in an executive presidency, if you have the right person, then it's a very good model. And that is why I am pushing for a candidate who will be voted on the basis of merit and not on the back of a political party. If you get the right person, then you would have a positive use of the executive presidency model.
Spokesperson of former President John Dramani Mahamad's campaign team has criticized independent presidential candidate aspirant Kyerematen for his claim that the former president lacks a clear message. Kwachofusu centered his assertion, highlighting that since the launch of his campaign last year, the former president has consistently outlined key policy issues that he intends to address if elected.
Well, it is very surprising to hear Mr. Kyerematen speak this way. For somebody who says he has left the NPP, he still appears to have retained the MPP's penchant for peddling untruths and presenting them as facts. I'm not sure how Mr. Kyerematen could have been in Ghana all this while and still hold on to the very, very false notions that Mr. Mahama have not presented any policy alternative. In fact, if you listen to Mr. Kyerematen carefully on Monday, you will note that he repeated some of the policy proposals that President Mahama has spoken about on many, many occasions. I refer you to Mr. Mahama's speech during the launch of his campaign for the NDC flag bearership contest in Ho last year. And it was quite clear that, among other things, he will reduce the size of government from the current bloated figures to under 70 ministers. He also said that he will scrap ex-gratia payments. Mr. Mahama promised that he will carry out the most far-reaching and most comprehensive governance, constitutional and institutional reforms in Ghana's history. Mr. Mahama has said that he would restore stability to the macroeconomy. He would tackle job creation and ensure that the economy is managed prudently, that natural resources are used in an equitable and judicious manner. This and many other things contain the various speeches that Mr. Mahama has delivered. Can leave nobody in doubt that he has been speaking to the issues that matter to the people of Ghana, and that he is prepared to hit the ground running the moment he is elected and inaugurated into office as president. Well, there is a man who has been president before, and he knows the ins and outs of the presidency and how managing a country looks like, unlike Mr. Kyerematen.
The Kyerematen for President campaign team says though there are unresolved matters after the outcome of the Superdelegates Conference, their candidate will rather fight from inside than exit from the party. Commenting on the resignation of Alan Kyerematen from the NPP, a former second vice chair of the party, Sammy Krapp, says they will combine their votes and that of Alan Kyerematen to defeat the vice president in the November 4 primaries.
The Ken for P campaign team has been justifying why they chose to stay in the New Patriotic Party, though they raised similar issues as those raised by Alan Kyerematen, who recently announced his resignation from the party. Former second vice chairman of the NPP and also a member of the Kyerematen campaign team tells me they are optimistic.
This party definitely has issues. I think I'll be the last person to say that there were no issues. So don't think that we are not recognizing those things. There are issues. But I'm saying that we have decided that instead of going out to fight, we shall stay in.
He also tells me they are combining the votes of Alan Kyerematen and that of Kennedy Japan to beat Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, who is also a flag bearer aspirant in the upcoming November 4 primaries.
Politics is about numbers, and we count numbers at the end of the day to win. We must try as much as possible to unite everyone. When you join Alan's vote and Ken's vote together, Bawumia will be defeated.
The Ken for President campaign team has introduced a digital platform to help supporters contribute their quota to the campaign of Ken Japan. The fundraising team indicates this is key to ensuring accountability and breaking the cycle of winner takes all. Grace Hamwa Ajuman, TV3 News. Accra.
Back here in the studios, I am Godwin Asidiba. Let's focus on education now. The National Association of Graduate Teachers, NAGRAT, is urging government to end the double-track system and revert to the original trimester system for senior high schools. The association, at a media briefing in Accra, warned that members would advise themselves if the system is not reset.
Government introduced a double-track system 2 years into the free senior high school program to accommodate the growing student population, promising to end it after 5 years.
This trimester timetable is wrongly and unfortunately been distorted. We are calling on the Ghana Education Service, the ministry, and by extension the government of Ghana to revert the schools or to reset our school calendar to what it is. The teaching period should revert to 40 minutes as practiced everywhere in the world.
Nagrat requested GetFund officials to address the lack of infrastructure to meet increasing demands.
We expect the ministry and indeed the government to respond to this call immediately so as to allow harmony and peace to prevail in our schools.
Management of the Sunon Asogli has secured an injunction to halt the compulsory arbitration by the National Labour Commission intended to reinstate 3 dismissed unionized workers. The court has scheduled the case to October 23.
To our utter dismay, the company took the view that they had some reservations about the process, and for that matter, they have since gone to court, to file for an injunction or apply for an injunction to restrain the National Labour Commission from proceeding with a compulsory arbitration. And so the first question was whether or not this company is determined or committed to a resolution of the matter. Because given how far this matter has traveled, the expectation would have been that, look, both parties will commit to the process and then a resolution will be made. Unfortunately, they have injuncted the process, which means that the matter is now in the bosom of the courts. And we may have to appear for a determination of the application for the injunction. We have since filed a joinder to join the suit in the case between Sunon Asogli and the National Labour Commission on the matter.
Executive Secretary of the Ghana Real Estate Developers Association, Greta Sami Amegaibo, has called on players in the real estate space to help fight money laundering. According to him, laundering money through real estate is the new phenomenon, as strict international regulations have made it difficult to use financial institutions. He spoke on the sidelines of the launch of the Lakeside Hills project.
If you look at how the banks operate these days and the insurance companies, you realize they have improved their system, and it is making it very difficult for money launderers to penetrate their system. And so the next avenue that they seem to have identified is the real estate sector. It is a widespread situation. It's not in Ghana alone. It is worldwide. And so I was calling on the attention of estate developers that we are all supposed to fight money laundering. It is not one person's fight. And money laundering doesn't exist in only real estate. It exists in so many sectors, but just that we are in the real estate. So when I meet my people, I want to take this opportunity to bring their mind to it. And then let's all of us fight the canker of money laundering.
More than 100 students from the Zongo communities have benefited from scholarship packages under the Zongo Development Fund. At a media briefing in Accra, CEO of the fund, Dr. Arafat Suleiman Abdullahi, stated that efforts are being made to attract more funds, although he could not disclose the institution's current financial status.
Established in 2019, the Zongo Development Fund aims to develop over 320,000 Zongo communities, focusing on education, infrastructure, health, social welfare, and community development. The social interventions in areas with 80% of programs being youth-centered were illustrated with pictorial evidence.
The Zongo Development Fund remains very concerned about the strenuous challenges faced by brilliant but needy students from Zongo communities in pursuance of tertiary education. The Zongo Development Fund has therefore provided educational support grants to 972 students. We have facilitated and supported 40 students to pursue medicine and related disciplines in Cuba.
CEO of the fund, Dr. Arafat Suleiman Abdullahi, called for an enhancement in capacity to secure additional support and funds.
Through leveraging our unique position to supplement and complement funding from central government.
The Chief Executive Officer of the Association of Ghana Industries, Seth Chum Akwabwa, has proposed a further government tax on imported sanitary pads at a no-part tax campaign forum in Accra. He argued that such additional taxes will encourage local companies to produce and sell at cheaper rates.
The deliberation to make the sanitary pad affordable and accessible for use by all females was keenly participated in by all stakeholders. CEO of the Association of Ghana Industries, Seth Chum Akwabwa, wants government to initiate moves to protect the 3 local sanitary pad producers and consider imposing extra taxes on imported brands.
Don't let's think that the only solution to this challenge of meeting the objective of reducing the prices is to remove taxes on imported sanitary pads. It may mean government subsidizing. And if I were government, I would rather impose more taxes on the imported ones and use that revenue to subsidize the locally produced ones and achieve the same objective.
He also proposed the removal of the 21.9% value-added tax on locally produced pads. Member of Parliament for Medina, Francis Xavier Sosu, is confident that a current bill before the legislature will restrict future imposition of tax on pads when passed into law.
Taxation of pads violates Article 17 of the Constitution. If this law passes today, what it means, apart from reclassifying them, is that you are actually introducing a legislative regime that will prevent any future government considering taxing pad as an option.
18-year-old Form 1 student Mary Kudutu advocated for free sanitary pads to be included in the free senior high school policy for optimum comfort for the girl child.
Let's do international now. At least 11 people have been killed after heavy rains and winds hit South Africa's Western Cape province, including Cape Town, over the weekend, leaving a trail of destruction. Authorities warned that the death toll may rise as the floodwater subsides. The destructive weather flooded homes, tore off roofs, destroyed crops and damaged roads and other infrastructure. Rescue teams are still searching for people who are feared trapped in their partially submerged homes. 8 of the 11 people who died were electrocuted in an informal settlement when water swamped illegal connection to the power line. 72 primary school pupils and 100 adults were trapped in a resort in the town of Oudtshoorn after the nearby Leroux River overflowed. They were rescued on Wednesday morning after the water had subsided.